Even casual baseball fans are familiar with the name Cy Young. After all, at the end of each regular season, the top pitcher in each league gets an award named after him, the Cy Young Award. But who is Cy Young, and why was pitching's top award named after him? The short answer is Cy Young is the winningest pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball. He had 511 wins, almost 100 more than the runner-up Walter Johnson. He also set several pitching records for longevity that have stood for over a century. Cy Young was born Denton True Young on March 29, 1867 in Gilmore, Ohio. He came from a family of farmers, and as a boy, he was known as Farm Boy Young. He left school after his 6th grade to spend more time helping on the family farm. But he was not destined to be a farmer forever. He played semi-professional ball throughout his young life, getting paid about $1 per game. In 1890, at 23, he got his nickname Cy when he tried out with the Canton Nagys of the Tri-State League. "I almost tore the boards off the grandstand with my fastball," he recalled, and when witnesses noticed that he had destroyed fences with his fastball, they realized that it was as if a cyclone had destroyed them. Thus his nickname, Cyclone, later shortened to Cy, was born. He signed with the Canton Nagys of the Tri-State League and was paid $60 a month. Later that year, he would debut in the majors with the Cleveland Spiders of the National League. His rookie season gave little indication of what was to come. He finished with a 9.7 win-loss record and an ERA of 3.47, which was unusually high for the time, but he led the league in fewest walks issued per 9 innings with 1.8. It would be a steady feature, as he would lead the league in this category 14 times in his career. Young's career was a bridge from the early days of baseball to the modern era. He pitched when the game had vastly different rules and when modern rules were established. In 1892, the National League moved the pitcher's position back by 5 feet. The new backline of 55 feet and 6 inches did wonders for Young. He had a win-loss record of 36-12. He led the league in wins, win-loss percentage, shutouts, ERA, and WHIP. The following year, the National League added a little more than 5 feet to the back line. The result is the modern pitching distance of 60 feet and 6 inches. Young's performance dropped a bit, but he still had a 33-16 win-loss record. He also had 2 saves which led the league, along with once more having the best WHIP. In 1898, the owner of the St. Louis Perfectos, later named the Cardinals, bought the Cleveland Spiders. He moved Young and the other top Spiders players to the Perfectos, but they finished 5th in both 1899 and 1900. Meanwhile, the depleted Cleveland Spiders performed miserably. They only averaged 199 fans in their first 16 games. They finished the season with a record of 21 wins and 134 losses. They set the record for most losses in Major League history. This resulted in the rule where baseball prohibited a person from having controlling interests in more than one ball club. In 1901, Young moved to the Boston Americans of the newly founded American League. He immediately made an impact in the league. He had a 33-10 record, an ERA of 1.62, and 158 strikeouts. He also led the league in shutouts and in WHIP. This performance gave him pitching's triple crown, leading in wins, strikeouts, and ERA. 2 years later, in 1903, he would lead Boston to the first World Series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Young went against a Pirates team led by Hall of Famers Honus Wagner and Fred Clark. That Pirates team also set the record of 56 consecutive shutout innings, which is still the Major League record. The series began badly for Boston as they trailed the best-of-9 series 1-3. In Game 5, however, Young had a shutout until the bottom of the 8th and held on to win the game. He also drove in 3 runs to lead Boston 11-2. Boston eventually overcame the 1-3 hole and won the series 5-3. Young had a 2-1 record and a 1.85 ERA while appearing in 4 games. The following year, in 1904, Young pitched the first perfect game in modern baseball history under modern rules of the game. This game was part of a streak of 25 1/3 innings without giving up a hit. This hitless streak involving 76 batters remains a Major League record. In 1908, Young pitched the 3rd no-hitter of his career. He was 41 years and 3 months old, a record until Nolan Ryan broke it at age 43. Before the 1909 season, Young was traded to Cleveland, where his career began. The following season, Young won the 500th game of his career. He spent his last season with the Cleveland Naps and the Boston Rutlers of the National League. He retired after the 1911 season. Young had pitched for 22 years. One reason Cy Young pitched at a high level for a long time was his remaining almost injury-free in his career. Whereas almost all of today's pitchers pitch in a certain style, Cy Young had the ability to pitch in different arm positions: overhand, three-quarters, sidearm, and submarine. Some of Cy Young's pitching records are mind-boggling and are probably unbreakable. Most wins, Cy Young with 511. Most losses, Cy Young with 315. Most games started, Cy Young with 815. Most complete games, Cy Young with 749. Most innings pitched, Cy Young with 7,356. Most hits allowed, Cy Young with 7,092. Most earned runs, Cy Young with 2,147. Most batters faced, Cy Young with 29,565. He also once held the career record for most strikeouts until Walter Johnson broke it in 1921. Cy Young also holds the third highest career WAR among all baseball players in history, regardless of position. He trails only Babe Ruth and Walter Johnson. Among all pitchers, Young has the second highest WAR, again trailing only Johnson. In 1936, Major League Baseball conducted the first election for the Hall of Fame. Young finished 8th overall and 3rd among pitchers. The following year, he was inducted into the Hall along with Tris Speaker and Nap LaJoie. Cy Young died on November 4, 1955, at the age of 88, and in death his legend grew. The following year, Major League Baseball introduced the Cy Young Award after him. The award honors the best pitchers of the season, a fitting tribute to the winningest pitcher of all time. Thank you for watching. If you had a choice to name baseball's top pitching award, who would your choice be? Would you still choose Cy Young? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing to see more baseball content.